Welcome to another Etheria restart video. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. Guys, we finally got the devs to actually act upon the difficulty on some of the Inferno stages, some of the Amber Track bosses, and some of the Anything bosses as well, which, to be honest, they were a bit too extreme. Now, personally, I really do not mind the difficulty in the Anything echoes in the Amber Track, okay? Maybe a couple of adjustments should be done in order to enable the players to defeat the final boss on normal difficulty. Okay, this normal difficulty boss, the final one, feels pretty damn hardcore. If you do build up the right units, you can do it. You might have to retry it a few times. If we are talking about the Anything Echoes, Heinrich, I mean, the speed on this guy was absolutely freaking disgusting, okay? I did have to rebuild a lot of units to beat the boss, but that doesn't necessarily bother me that much. Now, moving from here, I haven't really attempted to do Grey yet, because I did not have the time. I would expect him to be stupid fast too, most likely. But Heinrich is actually tied to your hyperlink charter. If I remember it correctly, somewhere here. Clear Anything Echoes Heinrich. So a lot of people will get stuck at this one and not get the freaking perfect letters, which, hey, we should get it as often as possible. But the main thing that is actually changing, guys, we are talking about nerfs to Inferno difficulty in the Grim Pursuit and Thresholds. Now, make no mistake, they still haven't mentioned anything about the in-game economy related to the Etheria coin, which is absolutely the worst in any game I've ever played. Right? I've played plenty of different gacha games. I never played like the Hoyan games and stuff like that, right? I'm not even sure if they are Hoyan with Genshin Impact and all that stuff. I haven't played them, right? They're not my cup of tea. But either way, I've played different ones. I thought that King Arthur Legends Rise has the worst economy till I've met Etheria Restart, okay? So this thing is something that needs to be sorted out ASAP. They definitely need to address it. If we are talking about the shell currency, the XP for shells, that's something that needs to be addressed a little bit too. No matter how much you're farming, you're just instantly burning that because it's very costly for you to reconfigure shells. So it's not so much about leveling them up, which, let's just say, fair enough, it should be as it is. But when we are talking about aiming to get this freaking passive effect, is just painful, okay? I think they should change the RNG a little bit in this. If I already have a legendary rarity on speed, I should not be getting anything lower. And I should not be getting the exact same thing with 12 speed instead as the next roll, right? Because those things are really, really frustrating. And it's not frustrating in a way that will make the player spend money. It's frustrating in a way that will make the players quit the freaking game and be like, that's it, I can't take this anymore, right? Because, hey, that happens too. Leaving all that on the side, I will make a different video to address some of my frustration with the game. Bugs. Tons of bugs, tons of bosses do not work as intended because they have one skill description and they do completely a different thing. That's another thing that's really frustrating because you cannot actually build the team with the clear strategy in mind because there's a lot of RNG in there as well, even though it shouldn't be. But leaving all that on the side, let's quickly go on to their post right here on Twitter. After the previous optimizations and adjustments, we have continued to listen to players' feedback and observe in-game data performance. Based on the current gaming experience and difficulty balancing, we've decided to promptly initiate a new round of adjustments. We hope all hyperlinkers will keep sharing their valuable suggestions with us. We are committed to listening carefully to everyone's voices and work together to build a more exciting world of Etheria. So, constructive feedback is definitely something that people should do. Whenever I click on a Reddit post, all I'm seeing is just people trashing the game and crying without giving absolutely no constructive feedback. So that's definitely not something that anyone will take to mind. Nobody will care about that as long as you're not giving them constructive feedback. So that's something that all of us should do more often, right? This is not defending the devs. I have Absolutely no affiliation with them or anything like that, but it's just how things work in general. Like if you come and just scream in my ear, I'm gonna be like, yeah, get the F out of here, and I'm not gonna listen to you, right? But if you come and you explain me, look, this thing doesn't work good because of that, maybe you should try that. That's something else. I will perceive that in a different way, and I will listen to what you're saying, right? To provide hyperlinkers with an even better adventure experience, Etheria Restart will implement a silent update. No action required from players, which is tomorrow, right before the global reset. Following the update, hyperlinkers can directly enjoy the newly adjusted content. After the update is complete, compensation for the adjustments will be distributed via in-game mail. Please check your inbox to claim it. We sincerely apologize for any inconvenience caused during the period. Thank you for your support and understanding. We're gonna get 100 Hydra Crystals, or the equivalent of a stamina refill or a summon. Now, these are the following changes, guys. Lower the difficulty for Green Pursuit Nico Nana Inferno level boss, HP reduced by 15%, attack by 20%, speed by 10%. So they've already adjusted this last week or 2 weeks ago. I actually lost track of time. I think this is definitely going to make Nico Nana much, much better. Now, I personally do think that we need at least one module dungeon, one shell dungeon that is more accessible to allow you to farm it, to upgrade your gear, your shells, so you are prepared to move on to the next one. Now, the game still has the same problem where not so many team comps actually work versus the majority of the bosses. That's something that most likely it will change down the line. That's something to do with the limited pool of characters that we have available in the game. I do not mind building characters that will help me work on defeating a dungeon as long as I have the resources available. But the problem is that it's pretty hard to get the resources to get the teams up and running, regardless if you're a free-to-play player, low spender, or even a Kraken. Now, yes, the Krakens will have a much easier life because they can purchase 1 or 2 legendary lattice every week. They can get some more shadow prints by spending money and stuff. So maybe it's not such a big problem for them. Now, personally, I'm always looking at this type of games as they are marathons rather than sprints, right? I was not expecting to go and defeat every Inferno difficulty in the first couple of weeks, regardless if it's farming content or not. At least in most of the games that I have been playing before, that they are very similar, even though graphics are completely different. It's not something that's happening just like that, right? It's a marathon, so it might take you 2 months, 3 months, a month, depending on how much you're spending, depending on how many good units you're pulling. There's a lot of RNG involved, right? But in this game, it definitely feels a bit different, and it seems like everybody has that mentality. I want to farm Inferno. Like, hell, I farmed Hell 4 quite a bit. I farmed Hell 4 during the 2x drops without stressing about it. It's fine if I don't defeat Inferno tomorrow. Like, who gives a damn? I'm gonna do it in 1 week or 2 weeks, you know? I'm not too stressed about it, but that's just my mentality. Then, they lowered the difficulty for Green Pursuit Shadow Flame Hoyan. They reduced the HP, the attack, and the monster Durant attack reduced by 15%. Now, that's something that I'm currently farming. Let's see how my win rate looks like. It feels like it's a 50-50. This time around, it seems to go a bit better. I think one of the main issues, it has to do with their resistance. It has to do with the way the accuracy check works in the game. I feel like even though I have 250 effect accuracy, I'm just getting resisted non-stop. And it's not necessarily because his chance of landing the debuff is low, okay? I think fully skilled is a 40% chance, if I'm not mistaken, maybe a 30% chance. From what I'm aware, maybe they've changed that. I haven't really paid attention since the beta. But usually when you do not land a debuff, because it doesn't proc from the skill rather than having the accuracy versus the resistance check, the resisted should not appear on the screen. Now, maybe they've intended to change that and it appears on the screen. Either way, I feel like maybe they have too much resistance, or maybe it's just the way the accuracy versus resistance check works. And I'm quickly going to explain you that in an easy way to basically understand it, right? So Let me just back out of the fight. Seems like we are winning that one too. This round has a much better win rate. So if we are gonna go over to let's take Obol for example. His third skill has a 30% chance to inflict dot or stun, okay? And that is fully maxed. Now, basically, if you have an accuracy, if you have the amount of accuracy much greater than the enemy's resistance, you could potentially push this chance all the way up to 60%, okay? And that can be done usually by having around 200 effect accuracy. Now, I do not have any data mine info from anyone to kind of like show me what stats the bosses have exactly. So based on other things that I've seen in the past, I would assume 180 to 200 is the sweet spot to basically have enough accuracy check versus the resistance to double your chance of landing the debuff from a skill. Now, I might be wrong. Maybe on Inferno is slightly more. But as I've mentioned, I do have around 251 effect accuracy on him. And I'm getting resisted way freaking more than 40%. Now, 10% is standard. No matter what chance you have to land the debuff, even if it's 100% on the skill, there's still in reality only a 90% chance because the game has automatically a 10% chance to get resisted. Other games have a 3%, other games have a 5%, maybe 15. I've never encountered a game that has that, but the game has automatically a 10% chance. So I'm not sure if something is off, but I feel like my Obol, my Fangus tend to get resisted pretty much all the freaking time. At least it seems like it, right? So that's one of the main reasons why my runs fail 20, 30, 40% of the times, especially in the shell bosses rather than the threshold bosses. So I still haven't seen anything from them mentioning that, okay, maybe we're going to reduce the resistance or something like that. Maybe I am missing something from the big picture, okay? If you guys know, let me know in the comments down below, right? Then, moving on to the next one, we do have the lower difficulty for Threshold Doki Doki. So the Inferno level, all monsters HP reduced by 10%. Thanks God I have not put more letters into Real Mocha. So now they have lower HP, I should be able to do more damage. Then the attack will be reduced by 10%. Right? Where is it? For the... No, by 20% on the second wave for the middle boss, the Elite Valor one. The one that's super annoying that can just one-shot your entire team one by one, right? So that's definitely pretty good. Now, the speed in Doki Doki, in fact, is not 285 as I thought. It's 286. Because when I had 286 on my Marvel, trying to get more accuracy, the enemies were going in front of him. So as soon as I put back to 287, I was going in front of the enemies. Now, in some games, when we have equal speed, so when my team has 200 speed, your team has 200 speed, usually the defending team goes first, right? Now, it might be very similar in here as well, and the boss will have exactly 286. But either way, that's the speed. Nothing mentioned about that. I feel like if they would lower that speed to 280, 275, that would make our life much easier in Doki Doki. Not just reducing their HP and attack. But who knows? Maybe they're going to do it next week or in 2 weeks. Then, lower the difficulty for Amber Track Sharon. Boss HP reduced by 25% in all 3 battle phases. I'll be honest, I freaking hate this boss with passion. I completely hate this boss. She's so freaking annoying. And yeah, it is a challenge, but I still hate her because she is very annoying. Nothing about the Terror Maton in here, unless I'm blind. So we have Nikonana, Shadow Flame, Doki Doki. We have Sharon in the Amber Track. Then lower the difficulty for Amber Track, a start monster, Alpha Disorder, effect accuracy reduced by 50%, and all enemies attack in the second phase reduced by 20%. They do hit pretty damn hard. I'm not sure how many of you guys actually watched the video, the guide that I've put on it, but I was getting close to get wiped so freaking often. I did attempt today before the reset to do the same boss on hard mode. Most likely, I was able to do it. The boss was kind of like one-shotting my Rosa at some point, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do something else this morning. I don't want to go through this, so I skipped it. Right? I said I'm gonna go and have a coffee, go do something else. But I'm definitely looking to defeat the hard difficulty this time around as well, and I think changing the boss's stats a bit is really, really important. But then nothing about the boss's attack. And they lower the difficulty for anything echoes Heinrich, normal level, enemy Marvel speed reduced by 5%, normal, hard, nightmare levels, enemy Heinrich speed reduced by 7%. So the problem that you're going to have right here, guys, is not Heinrich going in and just dropping in his strip buffs and all that. The problem is that you have Marvel coming in straight after. So in order to defeat this boss, what I've done, I think I had my Freya at around 305 speed. The enemy was still going in front of me. And then I had Kraken. So I was boosting Kraken with Lily to go in front of Marvel and freeze them. So basically, that's what I was doing. I was not boosting my DPS. I was boosting the crowd control enemy, hero character, to control the enemies better. That's how I defeated those stages. I think on Nightmare, it took me a couple of tries. On the normal difficulty, though, it took me a few tries till I was like, you know what, I gotta rebuild everything. Let me beat this boss because I want to get a freaking lettuce. That's pretty much it, guys, for these patch notes. This will happen tomorrow. Looking forward to see how the Green Pursuit bosses changed. Curious about Doki Doki too. One of the main things, at least for me, is definitely the Terror Maton. You see 2 losses, so was a bit better this time around. Drop rates, I think they should be adjusted just a little bit in our favor, of course. They don't need to just hand you the perfect shell every single run that you're doing, but just up it a little bit. Some people say, well, Scratch, you only need to farm one freaking good shell. I don't think you only need to farm one freaking good shell. Maybe in the beginning, you're not going to invest in 20, 30, 40, 50 shells, right? But then, slowly, you are going to want to look to build more shells. Moving gear is not fun, okay? You're making a mess all the time. You cannot have, like, unlimited presets. I'm at the limit right now. I'm not even sure how many I have, but basically, that's the maximum you can have. And the problem is that we have the Cage Rumble. So I need to have presets for 15 characters in there, right? So that's instantly kind of like filling up my slots in here. I don't have for all 15 specific for the Rumble because some of them, like Messiah, for example, Hoya and Holden, are different, Revelation build, etc. But it's not as fun to move the gear around. So eventually you will want to have builds and shells for most of the characters that you're building. Now, once again, this is a marathon. I'm not expecting to have all that in the 3rd or 4th week, of course, because that means that the game sucks and we're going to get bored super quick. And that's not a win for any of us, right? Because if you start the game, you want to play it, you want to enjoy it, you don't want to finish the game in 3 weeks and then be like, well, this game sucks, bro. There's nothing else to do here. I'm going to quit this game, move on to the next one. Now, I know a lot of you guys do that, and you're not sticking with a game, especially if you're more into PvE content. I can't blame you, like everyone with his own playstyle. But I think in the long run, we want to have shells built for everyone rather than constantly moving them around. And like I farmed Nikonana so freaking much. You guys have no idea. I still do not have a decent White Fang, okay? And I'm talking about an Inferno White Fang. I have this one. Not the best, right? I have Harvest on it, Momentum, and Fury Edge. It's not trash, but it's not that great either. Then I have Onslaught, Kenai, Swift Raid. This can be somehow decent for PvP. But at the moment, I'm still trying to push PvE. Then Swift Rush, Harvest, Fury Edge. Not great. Then I have Swift Rush, Kenai, Fury Edge. Then I have Onslaught, Fury, Fury Edge, which is decent, this one, on some units. But right now, I'm actually looking for Kenai, Fury, or Kenai, Onslaught, and Fury Edge, right? That's kind of like what I'm trying to get, but I'm not sure if it's going to happen anytime soon because it's just so freaking hard to get the right things. So hopefully soon they will address the other issues. Now, I've seen that they responded to some people in Discord. Doesn't really mean much in my opinion. Like, of course, just to show as a company that you do have some communication. Once in a blue moon, you come out of your freaking cave and you say, yeah, we are working on it, but you don't give any information. So they definitely need to step up a bit their communication game and kind of like lay ahead a road plan for us, a roadmap. This is what we're planning to do. This is what we want our game to be. And we're going to get the game to be at this point in a month, in 2 months, in 3 months, etc. Right? So I think the only way to do that is by providing them with constructive feedback. And I'm sure they are noticing when their bank accounts go down, right? Because either players are quitting, either players stop spending. I've seen rumors about a new unit coming to the game, guys. I've seen this actually on where is it? On Reddit. So let me just open this. So this should be the next banner, if I'm not mistaken. Michaela's site posted this. Actually, big shout out to him, her. We have Drelzar, another LD unit. And it seems like this might be the unit coming after Yeli. Now, Yeli was leaked in the exact same way before her banner started. Now, I've seen something that potentially could be the leaked kit as well. Now, I'm not sure if that is going to be the case. If it is, it seems like a pretty damn solid unit. And I'm glad I haven't burned my mercy for Yali, because this brings something unique. Bleeding. Now, bleeding could be more powerful than Dot. It can be crazy. Of course, I'm not sure if this is the real kit or not. I'm going to leave it on the screen so you guys can see it. But either way, we're going to have to wait and see next week if this will indeed be the unit that they are planning to bring on the new banner. Now, if this is the unit, so far, they've reached the amount of 6 new units, which is what I've heard at the beginning that they have planned. So basically, we have 6 new units that will be added to the game. I really do not remember where I've heard that, but I have it in my head as 6. I'm sure I've heard it somewhere. And this would be the 6th one. Now, I have a feeling that they might not do banners for the existing characters. Maybe I'm wrong. But it would be nice to see some banners for older units before they flood the entire game with new units. So maybe they do one for Klaus. Maybe they do one for an LD unit, Lily, Shadow Sanya. Something that people could actually try and get, especially if you're missing some of those units. I think is extremely hard to put your hand on some of the missing units, right? So at the moment, I'm missing, I think, is it 4 or 5 now? I'm missing Yeli, I'm missing Shadow Sanya, I am missing Chloros, I'm missing Mia, and I am missing Klaus. I think, unless I'm planning to open the wallet and go ham on it and try to summon till I get them, it's going to be really hard to get them unless I'm stupid lucky, right? So I know a lot of people are in this situation with different units. Now, the whole idea is collect all the Pokemons. They keep you spending, right? And that's how it goes. Then Bramble, Harvest, and Fury Edge. Again, I've got one with Bramble as well. I want something else in there, man, so I can use it. This is actually a pretty solid shell. I've never used it, but it kind of works like an invisibility slash veil slash something like this, because you cannot attack them with single target damage dealers. And I got my ass whooped by somebody in live arena using that shell. Either way, guys, I digress. That was all for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As usual, if you enjoyed the content, smash a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.